Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Unlock the Power of PIM and Publishing Automation. We're looking at Eurogast's success story with InBetween and Syndigo. I'm Ben Rund. I look after the partner business in EMEA for Syndigo. And in case you don't know, Syndigo is a end-to-end PXM cloud platform that enables to manage your product content and more at the central place and sell across multiple regions and channels successfully, such as Eurogast is doing that. And obviously, questions, please go into the chat, as you know from today's webinars how things go. So with that, I'll introduce you to the speakers. And of course, the speakers are here to also help me answer the questions which you may have. So first of all, maybe let's move the slide to the next page, if that's workable. The key speaker today is our star and our customer, Andreas. Andreas is the head of Group IT at Eurogast. Eurogast is a famous hospitality distributor out of Austria. And Andreas is managing multiple IT services there. And of course, the topics like PIM and master data, as well as publishing, print publishing, with InBetween and Syndigo. Andreas' presentation is being completed by Peter Flory, Sales Director at InBetween. Hey, good to have you both. Peter is Sales Director at InBetween. InBetween is a strategic long-term partner of Syndigo, one of the leading global providers of digital print publishing solutions. So let's look into today's challenges in retail. And if we move kind of ahead, I think it is obvious that automation, because of pressure for efficiency and cost pressure in retail, has become essential. And our client Eurogast really transformed their print production process by leveraging the power of data from Syndigo and publishing from InBetween together. And today we'll be exploring in detail how they're actually optimizing content and print production for 14 different regions with consistency and faster time to market, actually. So let's go a bit deeper. So Andreas, before I really hand over the word to you, can you really help everyone really understand what's your operations and what maybe makes your business unique in the industry?
Thank you for the introduction, Ben. For sure. Let's talk a little bit about Eurogast, about our corporation, about our organization. As you mentioned, Eurogast is a consortium of 11 different, mostly family-owned businesses, wholesalers across Austria, and it's also one corporation partner in South Tyrol. And we service our customer base is mostly gastronomy, hotellery, and also large customers in public businesses. And we serve them with the wholesale of groceries. We have currently 19 locations in Austria, and we serve our customers with around 2,000 employees right now. What you do not see on the slide is that we have currently around 40,000 products in our stock or available. And what is differs us from other wholesalers like corporations is that we have a really strong regional focus, as our partner companies, which are partner of our consortium, are mostly regional family-owned businesses, and they're really anchored in their region, and they also serve the customers really with regional products there. And this is also the reason why we decided to go for what we will talk about today, our MDM solution Syndigo, and also our publication solution InBetween, to have a flexible solution to serve, on the one hand, national assortment of our products, but also the regional focus of our partners.
Excellent, Andreas. So yeah, let's go into more details, right? Can you really loop us in, and feel free to advance to the next slide, so that let the people understand, right, what's the scale and the need of your publishing situation kind of at a glance.
Sure. We will talk today mostly about our leaflets. Our leaflets we provide to our customers in a bi-weekly each 2 weeks we provide our customers a leaflet. And from the process perspective, you see on the left side that we, in our service organization, we provide a proposal of a leaflet with a regional or with a focus, with a special topic we will serve on it. And we also provide roughly the products we want to have there in the leaflet. What you see then in the center of the slide is that from our proposal, what we create centrally, there will be created 14 different regional variants for our partners, for our 19 locations, which are then modified based on their needs with their local product ranges and then sent out to our customers. And when you sum up the number, you see that we have, as we create bi-weekly leaflets, we have 25 leaflets a year. We created 14 different variants. That means in total we have 350 leaflets a year, which we produce for our customers. And when you see the situation right now is that this whole process of creating a leaflet for our customers, this is really time consuming. I will get into that a little bit later. And this is also why we decided to streamline the process by having some partners like Syndigo and in between to support our processes there.
Excellent, Andreas. Super. Okay. Let's take it a bit further. And now that we have basically understood, right, your company situation as well as your publishing needs on the high level, how would you describe kind of the challenges you faced in your business before you started, right, implementing a new setup of single source and optimization and automation?
Sure. So our challenges are mostly not just our challenges, but also the challenges of our visitors today, also the people which are looking at this webinar today. So on the one hand, we had many different data sources. We had a data source for product information. We had a data source where we plan products. We had a data source to get the images for the products. And collecting all this information was really time consuming. Just to dive a little bit deeper into our process, before we implemented Syndigo in between is, yes, you're right, we start with an Excel sheet. We have an Excel sheet, we plan the product IDs and then decide which product we want to have in which leaflet. Afterwards, we add some product information from Syndigo manually by exporting the data and import it in the Excel sheet. And then the third step, we then collect all the pictures we want to have in the leaflet and sum it all in one folder to provide this information to the agency. And what happens also before we hand it over to the agency is actually that each and every line of the product information is then checked manually by a person if the pronunciation and also the full stops and so on are working right now in the leaflet. And when this all is checked, when all product informations are checked, then it's handed over to the agency. And what then comes as next is, as you have seen, we have a two-step process. We create a central proposal, as explained right now. Then the regional process started and everything happened again. So our Excel sheet has then been collected. They exchange some products. They have to add then the product information again to their exchange products. And they also have to collect a picture and then send it over to the agency. And from the whole process, from the central proposal to the regional variant, you see that it's really time consuming. So there's a very limited time to create a really personalized variant of the leaflet and also to customize it on the personal needs of our customers. And what happens also on our side is that the brand image, so what the customer is facing actually could be differed or has differed before we implemented in between and in Syndigo. Like one customer in the eastern part of Austria might have seen a different product image, product information than a customer from the western side of Austria. And this is solved by our project we will explain later on. From an agency perspective, we provide the Excel sheet, we provide the pictures, and the agency has to set each and every product in InDesign to create the leaflet. And as this is a manual process, this is for sure can be really error prone and can result in wrong product information. And the last step is also very important currently right now, that the legal aspect is quite difficult, or was quite difficult to handle. For example, if you have some single-use and multi-use products, it is required on our hand in Austria to provide this information on the product itself. And if we have an automated solution like with Syndigo and also in between, we can do it immediately when we set up the layout and have all the information on all our different variances. From a manual perspective, you have for sure 14 or 11 people involved, and they have to follow your rules, what you write down somewhere. And this could be that this is not consistent from a legal perspective.
Definitely a very good point that people are looking for sustainability information from a compliance perspective. It helps you to be correct. So thank you for that introduction. So of course, right, many people ask us or you, right, why these solutions, right, this set of solutions. So I think as the next, we really wanted to look into and understand from your perspective why you have decided to go with Syndigo and with in between as a combination. And for those who might care, the implementation is done by our implementation partner, Appellants, just as a side note. What made it from your end, right, that you decided to go with us?
Actually, in the year 2022, we evaluated what is our system landscape and where we want to go in the future. And we also asked ourselves, what is the most important service we have at this time? And then we recognized, okay, product information is the most important service for us. And then we started to search for a PIM solution that supports us in this service. We immediately recognized that a simple PIM, which is just enhancing product information, is not sufficient for us. So we gathered the market and went to Syndigo, as we recognized that this is fitting our needs mostly, because, for example, we have a very special requirement on our side. So we have chosen Syndigo as we do not just provide product information, but also enhance this product information for our strategic buying, where we add supplier information, conditions, pricings, and so on, also on that platform to our partners. And we have a centralized product data information then in place. And what is also very important for us is that we are able to integrate different systems. Like we have a GDSN data pool, which is integrated to our Syndigo to just enhance all the information automatically without a manual integration. And what is very important, where we are currently right now investing a lot of time and money, is in the data quality aspect. So Syndigo supports us really well in getting a really good view of our data quality by checking the data in our system. For example, if an attribute on A is set to a value, it is checked automatically. This could fit to another attribute, and gives us information to correct this attribute or to correct this product to fit our consistent product information requirements. And as mentioned, Syndigo was then our baseline for our future projects, as we recognize this is the base to create different services on top of that. And now we hand over to In Between. In Between, as you have seen beforehand, creating a publication or a leaflet in our case was really time consuming. And this is something that challenged us multiple years ago already. And we decided to build on top of the Syndigo product information a solution that helps us automate or semi-automate the publication process for our needs. In this case, for 14 different variances for all of our partners. And what happens, what really helps us a lot is the real-time connection. So on the one hand, you can change product data in Syndigo, and you have it directly, immediately available in between to create a publication in our case.
Great to hear that, right? Speed always matters. If I'm adding kind of Peter to that dialogue, right, you're in a sales position, but and of course you're advising Andreas, hopefully to pick the right solution. But when you look back, what stood out from that time and during that process of selecting the right solution?
Yeah, of course, Ben. Thank you. Well, what really struck me was the number of regional variants that Eurogast had to cope with in its 14 regions. And obviously, manual creation of the leaflets, of customized leaflets, for each region was not only time consuming, but also a significant risk for errors and inconsistencies. In addition, there was no digital basis for collaboration in the planning of the leaflets by the different teams. So the digital mapping of the entire publishing process by automating leaflet production from Syndigo PIM to finishing in InDesign, therefore offered considerable potential to make the process much more efficient and at the same time provide a basis for efficient collaboration in the teams. The key for the solution was therefore the automation of leaflet production by in-between on one hand, and the mapping of the complete process of collaboration between headquarter, regions, and the external finishing agencies on the other hand. We can move to the next slide.
Any more comments, Andreas? But I think it's really important that we look into kind of how you have pivoted, right, from the old setup to a new process, right? The goal was to implement a new process, and I think it's going to be good if you can help everyone understand what's the new workflow in the day-to-day work for your team looking like now.
Thank you. Yeah, what is the process today? So from a high-level perspective, the process hasn't changed. So we have a central or proposal which has been created and a regional variant that has been adopted or modified. So the first step is creating the central proposal. The planning starts here at Eurogast now in the publication wizard of In-Between, which is a web-based solution. And in our case, the category management is creating this proposal and is planning the products on a leaflet. So no marketing department is involved. Actually, the person who is on the product and decides on the product is also planning the publication. And this is just possible if you have a solution that is so intuitive to use. And in our case, that works quite well. If the central proposal is created, we hand over this proposal to our partners, also within In-Between, and the regional department then copies the publication and makes the regional adoption to it. So they exchange products, they exchange some text maybe, for example. They also can create different layouts if they want so, and they can adjust it to their regional needs. And when they are finished, they hand it over to the agency. And the agency has to do some fine-tuning. So in our case, the leaflet is a quite complex product as we created, as this has very different variances, and we have a lot of different product types. And therefore, the agency is still in the loop in the process, as they have to do some fine-tuning, like adjusting the pictures, for example, and maybe adjusting also some text and also some lines, for example. And when they have fine-tuned everything, they then hand it over to the print, and it's printed and sent to us, to the customer. And just to add information, the product or the information from the publication in between is handed over or is imported by an InDesign plugin in the agency. So they have just to select the publication they want to import, click on a button, and they get the whole finished InDesign file for their needs and can work on that. Peter, you're muted.
Let me say a few things from my side. Sorry. Yes, what's interesting from the point of view of the in-between solution is that obviously what's happening now is that product layouts for the leaflets are automatically generated from the Syndigo PIM data. How do we do that? We use templates, and the templates are used all along the whole process. Even in the InDesign finishing. And that means not only is the layout connected with the data at all times, data can also be updated inside the leaflet at any stage. So automation ensures that the product data is retained throughout the entire process. And as the product layouts are now automatically generated from the data, and updates are now possible from the data. I have a clear and consistent process of how layouts are supplied by data from Syndigo. Also, compliance with the corporate design as well as with legal requirements can now be met at any stage. So, for example, the automatic of management of different labels via preset templates is possible, and that's something Andreas is going to highlight in a minute. Thank you.
Indeed, yeah. Let's really dive into going closer to a real showcase. Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, thank you. We just talked a lot about the process and the theory and some practical but very powerful example from our side. Maybe all of you know the Milka chocolates. We have roughly 20 or 30 different variants in our Syndigo PIM currently maintained. And we provide this information also on our leaflet. Instead of just providing each and every variant and each and every taste in a leaflet and consume a lot of pages for it, we created a concept which is called collective product, where we summarize all the different variances in one product, what you see right now in front of you on the left-hand side. And this collective product sums all the different variances there. And we add some information like the product, the picture information, and also what you see also on the screen is a barcode. And now what I meant with powerful is how these systems interact. In this case, the central product information system Syndigo, the publication solution in between, and our e-commerce platform. What you see now on the right side is our app, which is provided to our customers. And what happens if the customer has the publication or the leaflet in front of us, sees the collective product of Milka chocolates, and they can use now their app, what you see in the video right now, that they use the app, scan the barcode, and they immediately see the different variances in the app and can purchase each and every variant directly from that. And also to give you some highlight or some information how it looks like to plan a publication, you see right now, this is the publication wizard where we have the collaboration of our partners and us in one platform. And this is the web-based solution we are using for it. You see on the right-hand side is the product information gathered from Syndigo. You see on the low side that we have the different layouts available. So layouts with a price highlight, with an image page and so on. So the different layouts which can be planned in our leaflet, and which then is summarized in the layout itself, where you use a layout, add the products from right to left, and then you have a finished and planned page already available. And what was also important for us was to create directly a preview of it. You see on the screen now a preview of a standard page we have in a leaflet, but it's also very powerful if you create a cover page where you have a cover image which highlights the products what are planned there, and then you directly see how they do the information in text. So the products on the lower side with a cover image on the top corner. And it's very important to visualize everything that the product information is then shown good to the customer, and the customer experience is enhanced. What you see at this slide is actually the annotation manager. This is a tool within the publication wizard where you are able to hand over information to the agency. So in our case, as mentioned before, the products might differ from a picture side, and we want to align it to improve the visibility of some products. And for example, when we have finished the publication, we can go to the annotation manager, go page through page, and then highlight some information where we want to inform our agency to enlarge, for example, a picture, or to add a text, or to add some kind of other picture in this case. So everything happens in a collaborative approach in one platform.
Very good. And what I especially like the kind of intuitive kind of approach, right? Making it easy for all the people who work with it, as well as the high level of automation in near real time, right? To get always the top accurate data across multiple channels, right? Not only publishing, also across the app and other omnichannel categories. Right? Optimizing data, streamlining data, correct data, and so on is always key. Obviously we're talking about that, but as people who know me, I'm always interested in the measurable outcomes, the ROI, the measurable KPIs of it. So if you, Andreas, can walk us through what are the top outcomes you've been able to achieve in terms of maybe speed or even savings with our setup.
Sure. We talked a lot about efficiency, collaboration, and so on, but I want to highlight some 2 or 3 facts from our side. If we talk about the production speed, what you see from the process old versus new is that the production speed has been increased dramatically. That means in our case, we have the time to market has been lowered by 50%. So, which is really important in our case, in the retail sector, we really have to focus or to act what the market is or our customers are needing. And if we have a increased production speed for our leaflets, we can really focus on that and get a really good customer experience for that if we highlight out the products which are needed from our customers. From a collaborative aspect, or also for a customer experience aspect, is that we will save by semi-automate the process. We will save about 50% also of our manpower related to creation a leaflet. And what is also important from a customer experience perspective is that we talked about the leaflet, our publication, which has been sent out or also provided digitally to our customers, and also our e-commerce platform, that it is really important to have a good customer experience about those 2 customer services, or customer-facing services, so that product which is available in a web shop looks the same like it is provided on the publication. And what you see in the lower part is also the external cost factor. So in this case, our agency. So as the agency is not planning each product by its own, but just have to do some fine tuning on the publication, we expect to save about 80% of our external costs.
Oh, that's strong, right? Strong savings, but also speed to market, very essential. Great. Thanks for sharing. How does that tie into your strategic long-term company goals?
Yeah, it is really important to do everything step by step. So in this case, it was really important to create a baseline by implementation of Syndigo in 2022, as this is our baseline for our future projects or the projects we have mentioned today. Without centralizing the product information and so on, it would be not possible right now to go on with this speed. So the key was to implement Syndigo in first hand in 2022. Then on the second step, we aligned or integrated with it within our e-commerce platform to have all the product information also digitally available to our customers in the web shop and in the app. And this year, we implemented in between to have it also on a customer-facing service on the leaflet or in the print products. And so as we have improved our efficiency and also our time to market in general, we have increased the potential to create more different service based on that. So for example, we are currently also working on a customer experience platform. And this is just possible if we have the baseline created and also increase the efficiency in our projects we already went live right now.
Got it, right. That sounds really good. So I guess the journey is maybe never over, right? That might sound scary, but I'm sure you always want to take it to the next step, right? There's always a goal to get better in all the dimensions. Maybe you can take us through as well, Andreas. What's next on your agenda?
Yeah, I will do not talk about everything what we're doing in next step, but when we talk about the publication, we have created now the process to create a leaflet. A leaflet was the most complex part in our case, the most complex publication, and this is done. So we are working with it, and it's working good right now for us. The second step in case of applications is we also want to create catalogs. We have catalogs for different assortments, different type of products, and this may be more automated than a leaflet right now, as this is really standardized from a layout perspective and also from a product perspective. So catalogs are our next step to create with the combination of Syndigo and in between. And last step is quite a interesting topic, as this has been raised by our partners, is to create also sales materials. So in our case, we are really sales focused, and we have a lot of people out there for our customers, and they always need something to open the door to the customer. And what they recognize is that when we create something in between, which is really done in several minutes, we can hand over this to our salespeople, and they are then able to go to the customer and explain some product ranges, some new products in the assortment and so on. And this is quite, as mentioned, done quite quickly, looks good, looks in the corporate design, and they are able to go to the customer and present the products there.
Yeah, I got it. So supporting sales is key, right? Especially when it's deep and deep content. So I want to add I would say, maybe Peter, you can agree or disagree, a fairly old question. Maybe that's never going away, right? People want automation, yeah. And I've not even used the word AI in that session today. How could I? Right? But still, collaboration remains key. How do those things come together in the best way with your deep experience?
Yes, thank you, Ben. Let me explain what I want to say here. When a company really wants to combine print automation and collaboration in the whole publishing process, there's, I think, 4 points that are salient here. With a solution like In Between, you gain in business focus, because the whole production of layouts from data is done automatically. The layouts are generated by the system. So you're not dealing with design topics any longer. You're not dealing with line spacing, with position of images. You're not dealing with typefaces, colors, and so on. That's all configured in the templates before you even start producing the leaflet or any other publication for that matter. So what you have now, you have a solution where you can concentrate, you can focus on business, you can focus on the topics that really are on the business level. And that ties in with semantics in print. Semantics might not be the right word. What I mean by that is using this solution, you can deal with the question of which products flow into a leaflet, in what order and in which grouping. Is there a product that needs to be highlighted? In some industry, they call those products hero products. So there might be a product which fills half a page, and below that main product, there are supplementary products fitting the general theme of the main product. So you're dealing with what you want to express with the meaning of your publication, rather than with layouts and so on. Transparency is another important aspect. So whenever you want more transparency in your publication process, this seems the right solution for it, because since Eurogast now plans the leaflets in a web solution for collaboration, everybody working on the team, everybody planning, everybody commenting and so on, they have access to the current status of the leaflet, they have access to the comment, and they see the degree of completion of the whole thing during the process. So we gain a lot of transparency compared to the old way of doing it. And governance really means Eurogast headquarters as the central point where the leaflet process is started by providing the master proposal, the master leaflet. They really retain complete control over the whole process. So they have control over what does that initial proposal look like, who is allowed to view or edit which regional variant, and where does the approval of the work status take place, and so on. They even have the option to approve in the central office whatever's been done in one of the regions. So governance means really overall control over all aspects of print publishing.
Thank you, Peter. Really, really helpful guidance for everyone starting or optimizing their setup. So let's actually, looking also at the time, look at our summary and summarize, first of all, from Andreas' point of view, what are the takeaways, lessons learned everyone should consider? Because I think there's definitely things which are worth sharing.
Sure. As we have a lot of experts in our audience, just from our perspective, what was the main takeaways of the project, of the whole transformation right now, is that first, as I mentioned with Syndigo, it is important to understand the organization, understand what are the key elements and the key systems and the key services we have in the organization, which have to be improved or to bring on a new standard. In our case, Syndigo was the baseline of all of our transformation projects. And what is really important to do it step by step. If you do it at the same time, for example, in implementation of a publication solution and a data product information solution, that won't work as, it is something that when it's happening in parallel, they might not work as expected. Later foundation means that we have to have the system, but also have the foundation from a data perspective. We have to maintain our data. We have to enhance the data what we have, but we also have to create a baseline asset management for our pictures, for example, and for sure have the capable solution for that. And when you have laid the foundation and you then understand what are the steps to go in a transformation, like in our case, it is important to ensure that the process is lived and is working, and then you can go on the way to semi-automated, automated with, like we did with the e-commerce platform and also with the in-between publication solution. Monitor it and then adjust it when there is a adjustment needed.
Thank you. Let's see, let's check out the chat feature if there are any questions based on the things we just heard, or generic questions, to the experts here.
Yes, there was one question through one of the channels. Somebody asked if they can produce data sheets with in-between. And if I may, I would like to answer this straight away. Yes, you can produce data sheets with in-between. And in fact, that's something we quite often find with manufacturers. They may produce data sheets for 50, 60,000 or even 500,000 products. And obviously this is a question of efficiency. And that's the reason why we do data sheet production fully automated, which means we produce from Syndigo PIM data straight to PDF. And we do this on schedule, which means we use some predetermined time where the whole process is started, triggered at 2:00 in the morning, for instance, where we scan all the products and generate the respective data sheets as needed. But we can also do this on demand. The end user clicks on a download button somewhere in the web page of our customers, and the data sheet is created on the fly at this very moment, which is obviously highly efficient because I only produce the data sheets that are actually needed. And we can do this on event, so we can hook up to some event in Syndigo PIM and produce the data sheet. For instance, when a new product has been created and approved, we can generate the data sheet right there and then.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Peter, for picking that up. Thank you for Andreas sharing all his insights from his own experience and Peter, thank you for adding on top of it a lot of your deep dive know-how. Thanks to both of you. Thanks for everyone's time, and have a good day.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.